The world had fallen into corruption and calamity. Ar was on the throne of Apsu, and had denounced the Tablet of Destinies. He and the others ruled the world like children at play, ignorant of the true mechanisms of the world. Angered by their arrogance, Tiamat, the Chaos Dragon, once again grew terrible and turned to destroy all of creation. Before her was also Kingu and an army of monsters. Now, in this time was Marduk, a descendant of Apsu who had toiled in the study of the makings of the world. Having learned of the return of Tiamat, Ar brought Marduk before the others, and said to him, "It is known to us that you can see invisible things, and you have done magical works. We will make you our avenger, and you will drive back Tiamat. Your song will be sung for all the ages." Marduk replied, "No," and turned away. The others cried out, "You will surely be destroyed with us all if Tiamat is not driven back." "If that is to be, then it shall be," Marduk responded. Offended, Ar countered, "It is treason then, that you should not do as commanded by your kings." Marduk looked to the throne of Apsu, and said in defiance, "Apsu and Tiamat were part in the creation of this world. And when Tiamat first turned against it, the people of the world tied their destinies together with their law, set their law on a tablet, and gave their authority to Apsu, as the first avenger, to drive back Tiamat. From that throne, Apsu and the old kings forged the principles that warded off Tiamat for ages. In the passing of time, the thrones of the old kings were relinquished to progeny or taken by strength or other craft. You, Ar, yourself took this throne by causing Apsu to retire when he sought to restrain the encroachments of the kings. Now you are on the throne, but in your indifference, Kingu, who was once one of you, has taken the Tablet of Destinies from the place where it was hidden from inspection, and uses it to raise an army, and call himself the Avenger. But it was neither the throne, nor the tablet that granted true authority, but it was the grant of the people which is now squandered and spent. Now the thrones are sustained by fear of the power you hold, and the tablet by willful misinterpretation. The people of this age had no hand in the setting of the thrones, their names are not written on the tablet. You all have overstepped the law, and you refused to hear the objections of the people. So, treason it is not, to deny you myself as your avenger, for you have forfeited the authority. You said my song would be sung for all the ages, but the record of history does not know all the names of avengers who came before. Some drove back Tiamat, some even were rewarded, but all of their worlds, inevitably, fell to Tiamat, and the world started anew. I learned of these things and many other things, challenging what is known and unknown, while the rest of you settled in your inheritance. I would not be your avenger, only to defer Tiamat's judgment for another time, as the echoes of dead worlds warn. Ar, first, was to be your avenger, but he could not perceive the scope of Tiamat. Still, many others of you went to face Tiamat but could not perceive her. As the avenger, the only path leads back to this moment. But, if I were to confront Tiamat, it would be as the challenger, for it is through challenge that the better paths are discovered. Whatever designs I instigate to defeat Tiamat would be a challenge to you all, but they must not be changed. My command must not be nullified or altered. Once I have defeated Tiamat, you will all call me King of Kings, and my word will be supreme. Yield this authority, for the people will not listen as long as they fear you wield it, or face your fate alone. Tiamat is coming. Ar consulted with the others for a time, but seeing no other way to escape destruction, they all agreed and hailed Marduk, the challenger. Marduk departed to confront Tiamat, and was intercepted by the army of monsters. Kingu stood before them, appearing as a giant, with the Tablet of Destinies hung around his neck. He was clad entirely in the tongues of flame armor, and carried the storm-flood bow, the sevenfold wind, and all the other ornaments from the stories of past avengers. In his hand he wielded the evil oar, the irresistible weapon of Anzar. Blood emanated from his roar as he charged at the challenger. As Kingu swung the great club, Marduk stepped to the side and Kingu collapsed. King U laid motionless, and the tablet of destinies was broken into fragments. The monsters then began to cast spells at the challenger, but Marduk advanced toward Tiamat. As the monsters saw their spells fail, some consumed others to gain their strength, and some withdrew until there was Marduk and Tiamat alone. Tiamat appeared, dark and horrible, but her form could not be seen. Her presence gave a feeling of deterioration, and glimpses of her twisting structure caused confusion. She could not be touched by any weapon, nor moved by any force, nor stilled by any obstruction. Marduk the challenger stared straight into Tiamat's heart, and began to speak magic words. With those words, Tiamat hemorrhaged, her blood washed over the world. A brilliant light enveloped Tiamat, she was bound, broken into pieces, and one by one the pieces dispelled. Having beheld the work of the challenger, the others were insulted and tried to reverse it. They denounced Marduk and claimed he did not have authority. But a new people arose from the blood of Tiamat and, perceiving Marduk as themselves, confounded the others to silence and exile. Ar, who had also seen all of this, presented himself before Marduk and said, I have erred, but I am grateful. I will faithfully do as you command, King of Kings. Marduk put his hand on the shoulder of Ar and counseled, as Apsu saw, we can only keep so much as we are grateful for. You will remain on your throne, but the others will find theirs dismantled. Your trial is concluded as you witnessed. Though King U appeared as a giant, I perceived him to be old and frail, coughing up from lungs diseased with lies. The army of monsters were only idiots with threats and false solutions, but their words were empty. Tiamat, however, is truly infinite and terrifying. But in the light of truth, which I spoke, she is most beautiful with opportunity. I declared the authority given me, then the authority inherent in me, then the authority inherent in all of the people, the gifts of Tiamat and Apsu. With my command I revealed all the people kings unto themselves, making no one subject to another unless they surrender themselves to me. They and I then turned doom into fortune. Your oath was true indeed, and I am grateful for your concession. I only ask that you take up the good pieces of the Tablet of Destinies, and proffer wisdom for these new people to create a new law. The law shall be a written contract for all the people in their language, and it shall be refreshed anew each generation, as their names are added to it. I will not be King of Kings. Rather, when I am gone, my Archons will serve as chief for the people, to help protect the rights of the people, and the fidelity of the law. Turning to the new people of the world, Marduk instructed, this I say to you so that you may profit from Tiamat instead of cower from her, for Tiamat is not dead, nor can she be ever killed. Challenge everything. Let nothing be too sacred to be examined or proved. Retrial and learn all that you can, for you will not know the timing and form of your challenges, but hopefully you will have the strength, knowledge, and skill you need on that day. Pay attention, that you might see the truth for what it is and perceive Tiamat. Speak truth. Do not suffer a lie to live. Every lie begets a dragon, a peril whose form cannot be perceived, that grows through time and hoards unto itself, until it beckons Tiamat to return with wrath. Now design for yourselves a new law, from the good pieces of the Tablet of Destinies, the consultation of Ar, and the better wisdoms proven among you. Once Marduk finished, Ar proclaimed, as long as an Archon of Marduk the Challenger is chief, we will be kings unto ourselves, we will keep and renew the law, and truth will be our prosperity. May we all strive to be an Archon of Chief Marduk the Challenger.